Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Listen, if you can hear me, please type a one in the chat. If you can hear me fine and see me, please type a one in the chat. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope that you can hear me and see me fine. Miss Shirley, OG Gardner, how are you? Can you guys hear me and see me? Mike's Chaotic Gardening. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hello there, K Renee's Garden. Can you guys hear and see me fine? If you can, please type a one in the chat. If you can hear me, thank you. Thank you, Mike. Very good. Very good. Hello, Cheryl Faulkner. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. Glad you guys can hear and see me. Sometimes there's a delay, and I believe I have a delay right now. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing? Listen, for those of you that are coming in and watching the replay, I want to welcome you in and I want to thank you guys for being here as well. So, thank you guys that are here for taking the time out of your schedules today to visit with me. I will try not to keep you guys long on this Memorial Day, as we remember and honor those that have paid ultimate sacrifices and those that have served and are currently serving for us. We want to thank you. Hello, Tiff Farms. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I had you on my mind. I should have texted you. Good to see you. Happy Mac. How are you? How are you? Cheryl, yes, last Monday I was under the weather. I do have some autoimmune things, and from time to time I am under the weather and I just don't push myself too far. That's my problem. I push myself, I push myself, I push myself, and I just kind of hit the wall. I think a lot of us do that, but sometimes it's a little harder for me when I do that. How are you doing, Happy Mac? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope everyone is having a great day today. What have you all been up to today? Yes, what's going on with you? Hey Joshua Gabriel, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I tell you, how's the weather where you are? It has been rocky weather for us here. We had quite a bit of rain. Yes. Thank you, Happy Mac. I'm so glad that I'm doing better too. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so the weather has really been cold and rainy. Yeah, and gloomy. It's been the highs were in the 50s and we're usually in the 80s. And so these last few days have been cold, rainy, you're just relaxing today. It's been a gloomy day for you, K Renee. K Renee's garden. You're just relaxing. Yes. Dry, really dry where you are. Wow, Happy Matt. You're in New York. I tell you, I'm surprised you guys didn't get this rain that we had on the East Coast down here in North Carolina. It's rainy, windy. I have branches breaking. It really has been some rough weather. You've been gardening last few days. You're sore, taking a break. It's good that you've been able to get out there, Mike. I tell you, I did I think it was early Saturday, tried to beat the rain because I wanted to get some things in. And I was out there actually in the rain. Sometimes that's the best time to do it. So I was out there getting some things done on Saturday, getting some things planted, cleaning up some things I needed to get done. Wasn't able to get a lot of cleaning up done over these last few weeks. So I needed to get some of that done. I still have quite a bit to do, but I'm just going to take my time and get it done. So Josh Gabriel, sunny where you are too. You're in New York, so it was sunny where you are too. That's right. That's right. Yes, it has been, all over the place. And by the end of the week, I think we're supposed to be back in the 80s. And so it's very difficult for our plants to really adjust to all of that. I lost a lot. I lost all my garlic except for one. during the cold snap. Remember there was a change in weather at the end of the year, the beginning of this year. So I lost all of my garlic. I planted some more and I'll continue to plant. I did harvest one from a year ago. I left it in because it did pretty bad then, but it was pretty good when I harvested here. Or actually Saturday, I went ahead and harvested my garlic, at least the one, and I harvested some onions as well. And then I have been canning. It's one of the things I wanted to get done. You guys know how I enjoy canning, and so I have been preserving. So, what's your weather like where you are? Or the temperature? Is it cold? Is it hot? And what grow zone are you in? Is it cold, hot? And what grow zone are you in? And is your weather going to be consistent? Do you think your weather is going to be consistent? I was reading, actually, it was in a business journal. It was talking about the weather. Cool in Georgia, 75 degrees. Hello, the New Orleans gardener. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes. Yes, it's when it's 75 in Georgia. You guys are usually in the 80s also. I was reading from one of the business journals, and they were actually talking about the weather and what the weather was going to do. Says the weather will be even a bigger wild card than usual this year. The weather is going to be an even bigger wild card. It says thanks to the possible impacts of a strong El Nino, the climate pattern can result in drier or wetter conditions than farmers want, depending on the severity and the part of the world that's affected. So it says that traders are already bracing for a hit to global sugar production, which has sent prices to an 11-year high. In the US, the El Nino often results in more precipitation in the south and hotter, drier weather in the Great Plains parts, which are already grappling with severe droughts. Yep. Hello, broke farmer. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Going with Hudson. How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Micro farmer. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're in here talking about the weather and where we are right now. Hello, J3GS Farm. How are you doing? How are you? And I was talking about even in the business journals, the Kiplinger report or the Kiplinger letter talks about the severity of the weather. Yes, Happy Mac, you hope the El Nino makes this coming winter not too cold. And those heating bills, I certainly hope not. That's the one thing. We're getting the severe weather, either severely hot, severely cold, very wet, or very dry. And that's what's causing a lot of prices to rise in a lot of different fruits and vegetables because of the drought in some of those areas that produce a lot of things. Remember last year, the issue was the fertilizer and the prices of the fertilizer, but that's not the case right now. Fertilizer has gone back down. And so now we're dealing with the El Nino. Says that corn, soybean prices, issues with that. So think about that as you are planting your garden, things that you may be dropping or seeds that you may be dropping right now. Think about how much you want to drop, the things that you can actually purchase, because I don't have a large enough garden to preserve like I want to preserve, but I can go to my farmer's market and I can go to the stores and purchase some things. Hello, Bart Brownlee. How are you doing? It's been cold for 5 days where you are, but today went up to 86 in zone. Wow, zone 5B, 6A went up to 86, guys. Been dropping seeds for the past 2 weeks and they're popping up. Just need to keep on watering. Yes, that was one of my issues, Barb, that I wasn't watering my green stalk like I should have been watering. So a lot of my things didn't germinate, and it has taken over a month for my carrots to germinate. So I'm finally getting some carrots. After a month, they're finally showing up. Hello, Black Guns and Gardens. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. And so that's one of the things that's very important is to make sure that you are watering. 84 where you are. Yeah, it is. I think it's 59 where I am today, but by the end of the week, we'll be back in the upper 80s, I believe. Uh, and it may be in the 60s. I know that the rain finally stopped. Where that NASCAR race is, the Coca-Cola 600 is going on right now. I don't know if any of you watched that, but I know yesterday it just rained all day. Wasn't sure if they would get it in today because it was raining and drizzling most of the day, depending on where you are in the area. My area certainly had quite a bit of rain and drizzle even throughout the day today. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about specifically, one of the things that I'm doing is I have my canning plan, my preserving plan. One of the things I was listening last night to Tina, the New Orleans gardener, and she was talking about your harvest and when you harvest. And that's the thing, you need to be ready to go. Whenever you are harvesting, you need to make sure that you have a plan. 87 degrees in New Orleans. Do you have any rain where you are? Kim, hello. Kim Stage, her gardening, her life. How are you doing? Good to see you. Very good to see you. Welcome in again, everybody. I hope that I spoke to everybody. If I didn't, I'll go back through and see if I missed you. It certainly was not intentional. So welcome in. Welcome in. It's raining where you are. Yes, yes. And so this month or the month of June, just so you know, is National Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month in the United States. So there are a lot of vegetables and fresh and fruit that will be harvested in the month of June. And so make sure if you have not done so that you get your canning plan together. Right now, during Memorial Day, Memorial season, the beginning of summer, it's time for your strawberries. Make sure you're able to uh, get some strawberries. Strawberries are supposed to be a shortage. I know I am growing some, and I know several of you are, but I certainly don't grow enough uh, to do anything with other than to eat them right off the vines or to try to beat the animals, the bugs, the squirrels, all those things to them. Hello, gardening with Stacy. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. And so it's time to make sure that you have your preserving plan. Go ahead and get those strawberries. The strawberries are in season right now. I did go to my local farm. I didn't pick, there are a lot of U picks around. There are a lot of U picks. And I think, and Broke Farmer gave us the app last week or the last 2 weeks ago to look up so that you can find out where the closest farmers are to you. And so I didn't put that app in because I know where my farmers are, but definitely Broke Farmer, if you are still there, can you put the name of that app again that you mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago? Growing with Hudson, you planted contender beans to can with your potatoes. I enjoy green beans and potatoes. Yes, yes. I'm glad to see that you did that. And that was one of the things I wanted to do this weekend, but I didn't get it done. I wanted to plant one of my newer green stalk with my green beans, but hopefully I'll get that done next weekend. This weekend just wasn't the time for me to do that. So yes, this weekend I spent doing some preserving, quite a bit of preserving. So you all will get a chance to see more preserving this coming up in some of my videos. And I did drop some seeds, some starts. I did a lot. I went to my local farm, and they actually have so many things that are actually their starts are almost gone, and they only have them once a year, and when they're gone, they are gone. So it's time to make sure that you get all those things that you need. To farms, you have stocked up on your jars, and you're going to be going to the market to get some produce that you don't grow. Yes, you have to have an inventory of supplies and make a plan. Absolutely. Inventory your supplies. When I was going through my jars this weekend, one of the things, I have an abundance of jars. I'm constantly buying jars. I certainly don't need to buy any more lids. I have a lot of lids. But one of the things that I noticed that I really need will be some jelly. Call them jelly jars. They're the 8-ounce jars, the half pint jars. Most people call them jelly jars. Uh, Farmish. Thank you, Broke Farmer. Farmish is the name of the app that you can download, and it'll let you know the farms that are near you in your area. So I think that's very good to do, especially for those of us that aren't growing enough, is to get to know those farmers that are in our area. And they will, once you get to know them, they will hold food for you. And I'm speaking from experience. They'll hold food for you. They'll give you good deals. I even had a farmer call another farm for me for some things. And so they know each other as well. And you can get your deals like that once you know your farmers. So go ahead and make those plans. Definitely check out the inventory that you have as far as your canning, what you want to can. If you have the right size jars, I have a gazillion jars, but some I needed some half pint jars because this time I was canning some jelly. I'm actually going to be into some collaborations with some jams and jellies. And so I was doing that. And sometimes for me, jelly needs to be canned in the 8-ounce or the half pint size jars because they may not set for me if I do it in the in the pint jars. Hey, Tommy Bites TV, how are you doing? Good to see you. I'm doing well. I am doing well. It's good to see you. Blessed family, you came in, didn't see you. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Good to see you. You just realized you're out of canned butter, so you're going to be canning up some butter. Very good. Very good. Yes, you've been doing some cooking, I've noticed too. So yeah, and you do some canning and preserving as well. So a lot of us in here do our canning. So hopefully what we'll need to do is make sure that you have a plan. You know the things, you know what season and what month things are ripening, and you'll absolutely know what to can. I just have a list of some things we talk about and be on the lookout for, even in your grocery stores. I did notice in the grocery store that um, corn was for $4. So that's, even if you don't get it from a farmer's market, you may be able to get some deals from your stores. I know one of my stores has watermelon. Watermelon Maybe that what is one of the things I can do, broke farmer, is just buy a watermelon. I won't join the competition. But I think I will grow some this year, but it won't be in the competition. I'll try to grow some this year. Yes. But watermelons I know right now are very, very reasonable during this time of year when there are holidays like Memorial Day, 4th of July. You start to see your best prices for your things like your green beans, like your squashes, like your corn, your watermelon. It was not right. You bought a watermelon, it wasn't right. Wow. Wow. So I've bought 3, and I've opened up 2 of them because I love watermelon, but I actually used it in some of my recipes that I made, and all of mine were ripe. And one of the things I've been doing or trying to do, Tommy, is to learn how to pick a ripe watermelon. But what I will tell you about the watermelon, one of the things I found out because I bought some watermelons out of season. Yes, Happy Mac. I paid almost $10 for that watermelon out of season, and it was not ripe, and I knew it wasn't going to, but I saw it and I wanted it, and really all I needed to do was have my receipt, Tommy, and take my receipt to the store, and I either got a refund if I wanted it or another watermelon. So hold on to those receipts when you're buying those watermelons, and you don't end up with a good one or a ripe one. Hold on to it, either get your money back or pick a new one out. Yes, you're doing well. Oh, thank you, blessed family. Yes, I am doing well. And the small watermelons are $8 where you are. I tell you what, one of the things where I'm at now, they were $2.99. $2.99. And that actually is the lowest price I've seen in a very, very long time. So tell me you thumped it, but you don't know. So what I'm going to do the next time I go into the store, and I should have gone today, but the next time I go, I'll try to go into the watermelon section, and I will show you how I'll pick out a ripe watermelon or what I think is going to be a really good watermelon. There are, I think, three different things that you can do that will almost ensure that you have a ripe one. And that's when you go into the store, not growing your own. But it's the same concept, as when you would grow your own. A lot of times you have to make sure that you didn't get one of those that was, a lot of them are shipped green. Most of them they're picked. You can tell when they're picked green. So you want to make sure that you get one that has not been picked green. And thumping does help if you have a hollow sound. Your watermelon was $3.94 on sale from $8. You use the watermelon in the garden and placed it next to ones that you're growing. Help build up the soil. Very good. Very good. Blessed family, you just returned your watermelon for another one this past Friday. Yes, they cost too much to throw away if they're not sweet. That is very true. They do. And so you don't have to actually return the watermelon. You can just take the receipt in, and you can just tell them you can get a new one or you can get your money back. Yep. Yep. Okay. Tommy Bice is talking to Bro. So yes, these watermelon wars are real that's going on, and I like it. And so I'll definitely be watching everybody that's growing those watermelons. I'll be purchasing mine in the store, but I will be buying some as well. Happens a lot. Yes, the water getting food right now. You want to make sure that all of your food is good and that you're going to be able to use it. That's right, broke farmer. Make sure you have a white bottom or a yellow one. Make sure that at the bottom of it, where it comes from the stem, that is brown. It's not. You don't want it to be green, and then thump it for the hollow sound. Yep, those are some three things that you can check out. You're going to be watching that too, and not. Yes. So those watermelons, you want it to have a yellow or white bottom. You want to make sure it has that. You want to make sure that the end of it is brown. And then you thump it for that hollow sound, and you should have a pretty good one, because that lets you know that it's good, juicy, and watery inside. Broke farmer won. We won't win it this year. Okay, do I hear some J3? You in it? You get mine on the side of the road. The people that have them out of their yards. Yes. And I see that a lot too, Cheryl, where they're selling them in truckloads. A lot of farmers, they have theirs. They're selling those in truckloads too. I got you. I got you. So yes, you should let you cut it before it leaves the store. Wouldn't that be good, growing with Hudson? That way you know that it's a good one. He is talking some smack there. So we're gonna see CJ3's watermelon in these watermelon wars. You saw someone say using baking soda around your tomatoes will make it sweeter. I'm not sure about that, Tommy Bice. Anyone in here know about that? Using baking soda around your tomatoes to make them sweeter? Yeah. J3 says he's wearing two crowns. I hear you, King. He's gonna be wearing two crowns. The side of the road trucks for watermelons are the best. Epsom salt, is that what it is, Cheryl? If you put Epsom salt around tomatoes, they're supposed to be sweeter. I haven't heard that. I'm so busy putting basil around mine to keep those hornworms out of it that I haven't thought about the Epsom salt for to make them sweeter. So I'll have to look into that. Anybody know about that? Epsom salt, baking soda, sodium. That's what it sounds like. Yes, yes. So some things that will be abundant in the month of June. Some store water sell it in halves. Some stores sell the watermelons in halves. They do. But I tell you one thing, I see that. I'm very particular about that. And so I don't, I don't buy them when they're cut. I just can't do that. Never heard about the baking soda either. You order everything in your garden with Epsom salt every 2 weeks. Okay. Okay. Very good. Hello, Yolanda the gardener. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. That's good. You're watering it with Epsom salt every 2 weeks. And have you noticed, does it make a difference in your garden? Growing with Hudson. Does that make a difference? Happy Max says she sprinkles a little diatomaceous, and I know what that is, earth around your pepper plants to keep the crawly chewers away. I have some of that from last year because I had all those roly polies and they ate all of my potatoes. And so I bought some last year and I need to go ahead and get that sprinkled all around also to keep all these little roly polies out of it because I am loaded with those. Yeah, so diatomaceous earth around the peppers. I just have it. I'm just going to put it in my soil all around a lot of my green leafy greens so that I can keep those roly polies and things like that away. One of my areas is actually in a darker, wetter area, and I think that's one of the reasons I have a lot of those crawly creatures down there. I really do. Epsom salt will make the tomatoes sweeter and juicy. Okay, did you hear that, Tommy? Epsom salt. Barb Brownlee says that the Epsom salt makes them sweeter and juicier. I'll have to try that in some of mine this year as well. I'll try that. Hello, Simply Blessed. Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'll have to remember that and I'll try that. I don't know. Do you think that will? I'm just wondering if it'll interfere with the basil that I grow. I'll try it anyway, and just to see at least on one of my plants because I put it on all of my plants. Put it in the soil, put it in the soil. Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. The summer squash. That's one of the things in June that's very, very popular. And you can purchase that. You can start canning that. Your asparagus. A lot of people like pickled asparagus. I'm not too big on that. They like pickled green beans, or kind of like the three beans, the wax beans. I'm not big on that either. Hello, Cassandra, South Fulton Garden. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Welcome in. And some other things, guys. I don't grow these, but I know some people do. And that is mangoes. Anybody in here growing mangoes? Mangoes. I know that you can get them very reasonable at the store. You know, at the store right now, you can get them very reasonable. You planted so many squash and zucchini. I'm sure they'll do well. You should be able to, if you planted a lot, you should be able to get some before those vine borers start going, and then just keep them, you know, have you some starts put away so you can plant them again, a succession plant. Go ahead and have them ready so you can plant them again. Now, I was saying that I purchased, I don't know if I said this or not, but I did purchase some strawberries at my local one of my local farms. And I tell you one thing, I thought, okay, when I saw the price, I thought, okay, the price isn't bad. I went online and they had a sale, I think it was two for $15. And when I got there, what I realized is that it is now the smaller sizes, like the quart size boxes, when it used to be two for 15 for those half-gallon size boxes. And so I tell you, those prices have really gone up too, but there's nothing like fresh strawberries, you know. And one of the reasons I wanted to make sure I purchased them now was because I knew we were getting all this rain. And that's the one thing you don't want to purchase after a lot of rain or go out and harvest are those berries because they're soaked and loaded with water and you don't have a good taste. One year I did that at the same farm with blackberries and they were all moldy. You bought 9 strawberry plants and only 3 are growing. Yeah, yeah. Is it because, do you know why? Is it the weather? I had a bad one year. I did the same thing. I had strawberry plants, but I had bought those plants in a package, and those plants just did not do well. They just didn't do well. The next year, I bought them a little differently, and they have done well ever since. So I do need to move them. I do need to move them, but my strawberries have done well ever since. I did. They were bare roots. My bare roots did really well. But what I noticed when I was out there today, I have the ones on top, the birds are coming along and messing with things. So I'm thinking about getting some type of fabric, some netting to put over it. Uh, I will say that my little gadget that I use for the squirrels, I ended up moving that to my deck area. And so far, the squirrels haven't been on my deck. I tried to find one just like it, but I didn't for my peach tree because I really want to get peaches this year. Tell me about it. You bought only a few, but they branch off so much. So yes, you have a lot. The squirrels and the birds, they do enjoy them. Yes, yes. Your tomatoes grow good with your strawberries. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So you got the dollar store wire baskets and you put them over your strawberries. That keeps the birds out, doesn't it? That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. My area, strawberries are in a one of those cement containers. And so I need to look at that. I do know that the dollar store also has different types of netting. I was talking with someone on YouTube that had it, and they were saying that they got their netting from the Dollar Tree, call it the Dollar Plus Tree. And so I haven't been there in so long. I cannot come out of there without spending way more than the dollars. Hello, Queen BG. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, just going over some things that we uh, can look to purchase or be growing, really. Things that in June, National Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month for us. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Tommy Bites. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So make yourself a canning plan right now. Know what things you will go to that you will harvest. Know what things that you can go and purchase at your local farm. And remember, if you don't know where your local farms are, that app Farmish, look it up, and you can find out where your local farms are. Now, I'm going to go down the list again. Right now, during Memorial Day, Memorial Weekend, you still can get things, or most places, a lot of us, we have the watermelons that are on sale. You have corn on sale. This is in the grocery stores, you have squash on sale, that summer squash on sale. So you can go to the store and you can purchase those things as well. And you can be prepared to can. So make sure that you have If you're making jams and jellies, your sugar. Now, sugar is going to continue to go up, and there are shortages on sugar. Shortages on sugar. So, if you like a certain type of sugar, which I do, especially when I'm going to be preserving, then go ahead and purchase all the sugar that you will need for this year. I already have the sugar that I need for this year. And if I didn't go back to the stores for any, I would be just fine. But when I do go, I'll go to Costco. I'll get some. I haven't been to Costco in a while, but the next time I go, I will get some sugar. I try to always get a bag when I go. I'll say this, I the one recipe was 8 no, 7 cups of sugar, and then I canned another recipe and it was 5 cups of sugar. So that's quite a bit of sugar. So make sure that you are thinking about those things. If you need pectin, make sure that you're getting your pectin. I use the liquid pectin for the very first time. And so I'll buy some more of that. I did like that. So I'll buy some more liquid pectin. Make sure again that you have all of your jars. And I wanted to say when you're purchasing jars, please just don't put them aside until you need them. Look at the jars at the time you purchase them because you may have some defects with those jars. You may have some defects with those jars. I purchased a case of jars, and almost all of them had defects. Now I was able to take it back, but make sure that you look at it at the time. I'd hate for you to have jars and think that you are prepared to can, and then find out that you can't use them, because that is when you have your food on the stove, you need to be ready to put them in the jars. Cheryl, you're going to be canning. Who all in here? Who else is going to be canning? And what are you canning? What things will you be canning this year? Cheryl, what will you be canning? Tommy Bites, you bought some rice to can 4 months ago and you haven't done it yet. I saw that. You bought the rice when it was almost impossible to find any. As a matter of fact, I know I was looking for it in Sam's and didn't find any at all. But you were able to find some at yours. I tell you what I did, and I really liked this rice. I dehydrated my rice, Tommy Bites, and I tell you, I really like the dehydrated rice. I cook it, dehydrate it, and I like it. I thought about doing it the way that you were doing that way, canning it. I went against that, and I do like the dehydrated rice. So think about that. It's really easy to do, and I like it. Cheryl, you're going to be canning some tomatoes, some green beans, and some potatoes. You canning white potatoes or you canning sweet potatoes? You haven't thought about that? Yes, I did a video on it, Tommy Bites. I did a video on dehydrating it. I think I may have done 2 videos on it, because I even showed how it reconstitutes, because I like it, especially when I can up things like if you're canning, I don't can up beef, but chicken, soup, things like that. It already has the broth in it, and I add the dehydrated rice. It is really good. You have to use your dehydrated this year. White and red. White and red potatoes. Okay, okay, good. You're gonna be doing some videos with that canning, Cheryl. I and remember, if you are doing some canning, use the hashtag jarred up 2023 and hashtag jarred up 2023, and you can tag me on that, and we'll talk about it on my channel. Yes, you haven't thought about that? Yes, yes. Open up that dehydrator and use it. You like canned beef. So if you've canned your beef and you dehydrate some rice, it really is good. It really is. A lot of times I've seen when people have actually can the rice, that they end up pretty much cooking it again. So if you dehydrate it, you've already cooked it, and all you need to do is reconstitute it. So go ahead and check out my video on that for sure. Cassandra, you're going to be water bath canning as usual. You'll be trying pressure canning for the first time. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. What are you going to be pressure canning this year, Cassandra? That is very good. If you have any questions, just let me know. One thing I always say, I do like to use my ball book. I do as a guide. And if you haven't canned before, I always suggest that you go ahead and use some of those tested recipes in the book, because that way you're following a guide, and it's important, especially when you're canning and you're just learning to pressure can for the very first time. Water bath canning, yeah, it's very, very easy. Pressure canning is also very easy, but it can be intimidating, and so I would definitely advise uh, getting like the ball canning book or the FDA cannon book, or a book, USDA cannon book, and so that you can see and follow along with those recipes. I still follow them. You're going to before you start. Yes, you recycle the netting from last year's small gazebo. It was damaged in the storms last year. Yes, yes, recycling. That's really a good way to make sure you're reusing things too. Is that netting? That's very smart, Barb. That's very smart. Growing with Hudson, you just dehydrated your first set of comfrey. Well, congratulations. What are you going to do? Are you going to make a salve, or what are you going to do with it? Are you going to make it into a tea? I've been dehydrating my mullein. I've been dehydrating my mullein, um, and a lot of my herbs, my lemon balm, I dehydrated. My sage. I don't know if you all saw that video. Just some sage, air drying. Anyone canned mushrooms, better than dehydrating. Happy Mac, I thought about canning some mushrooms because I saw them on sale in Aldi a couple years ago, but I had to get a hold of myself because I don't even like mushrooms. So I was just going to be doing it because I thought it was neat and I could do it, but I didn't do it. I just didn't. But I've seen a lot of people canning mushrooms, and it does. I think they look good. I think they look good. I think that I do. Uh, and it may be better than dehydrating them, depending on what you're going to put them in. I think I liked what I saw when I saw it. And that's really one of the reasons I was going to can some mushrooms also. But I had to get a hold of myself and say, because I don't like them. You're not sure what you're going to can, possibly some beans. Yes, yes. And your canner, make sure you follow your canner's recipe, your canner's notes and guides also. That's important when you're pressure canning, is to make sure you are following your canner's manual. Yes. And they have a lot of recipes there as well. You still follow them also, but you branch out and can other things not in the book. Yep, I get it. I get it. I do too. I try to show most of everything that you can find uh, in the book. I try to only to show those things mainly. I do can a lot of other things that are not in the books, but I try to show, especially for those folks that are just learning, those things that are in the book. I get it though. Comfrey salve, and just keep some on hand. Yes, yes. Hello, diversity love. How are you doing? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Mac, you're going to try to grow some mushroom. Oh, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. You just have to build a box. Yes, I had a mushroom growing kit. I need to find that. I need to find that mushroom growing kit. You'll be dehydrating some peppers to make some pepper seasoning that your sons like. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Hello, Patty's Southern Kitchen and more. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes, those peppers. That is great. growing those peppers. Yeah. How are you? Yes, I hope everyone is having a great and relaxing day today. I wanted to, anyone in here serve in the military or spouse, parents, children serve or have served in the military? You know, today is a day to thank and remember and honor those that have served, those that are serving. It really is. Thank you, Growing with Hudson. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Thank you. Your husband was in the Army. I thought so, Tommy. Yes. Cheryl's parents were in the Army. Yolanda, I thought you did. Yolanda the gardener, you served 7 years in the Navy. Yes. Thank you all for your service. Thank you for your family members' service. Absolutely. Thank you. Happy military family, just not you or your mom. Yes, 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 Patty. Big up to yourself. Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Your dad, Navy, so you traveled around as well. Diversity love. Yes. Yes, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your family and your family service. I think a lot of you that know my husband was also in the military, retired military, Air Force. Yes, Yolanda. Yes. So we want to thank you. Want to go real quickly down my list of other things that I want to make sure that you all are aware of, and make sure that you are preparing for those of us that are canning. I didn't. There aren't very many people. Are there others that on here that will be canning as well? Yolanda, will you be canning? I've seen you do some canning. Are you going to be canning up some more? How do you like your electric canner? Do you like that? Anyone else in here have that electric canner? Hello, Nikki Walker. How are you doing? Your husband retired from the Coast Guard. Well, thank him for his service, and thank you also. I know as a military spouse that 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 we are out there as well. Yes, this is great information about the dehydrator and canning. You'll be watching the videos. Yes, Queen BG, very, very good information. A lot of people in here are gardeners. A lot of people in here are canners. And so there will be, you don't, the electric canner is a lot less intimidating. Yes, I like that electric canner. I do. I haven't branched out with that yet. I did branch out and get that all American canner. So I'll be showing some things with that as well. Um, I haven't canned with that yet. So I'm gonna put some water on. That's the one thing that I do when it's my very first time using it. I make sure to can something like water just so that I can get a good understanding of how it works. And I've just been canning for a long time, but I still will do that just to make sure that I understand how it works. I do have a steam canner that I haven't used either. I want to get a good understanding of how that works because that uses a lot less water than my water bath. And that's what I've been doing today is quite a bit of water bath canning today. You've been catching up on your canning, just did some barbecue chicken. Very good. You did catch some drumsticks on sale. That was 88 cents a pound. And so you did some barbecue chicken. Very good. Very good. I've struggled with my when I'm canning my drumsticks. They tend to end up falling off the bones for me. You love the All American canner. Now they have the new ones, the new All American canners that have the different colors. And I did see people, purchasing those. I'm going to stick with the one that I have. I don't have to have the colors. To me, colors come in and out of style. So I'm just gonna stick with the one that I have. Yes, yes. And I what I love about canning is the ease of having my own food throughout the year and being able to come home and just open up a can of various cans of things and you're just fine. If you're canning potatoes, I actually canned some chorizo, and the chorizo and potatoes, just they're just really good to have on hand, really good to eat. I have we don't eat a lot of pork, but I had pork. I canned that in barbecue, so I made barbecue pork. That would be something that would be simple and easy to eat. All these vegetables that we're canning, corn, canning corn, these green beans. I will tell you that I struggle with potatoes, the russet potatoes. I struggle when I can those. I don't like how my potatoes end up. You're so surprised when they painted their canners. Yes, yes, and the colors are older colors as well. Happy Mac, I know you've seen them. If you like those, their canners, I know you've seen those colors. Yeah, but for me, I'm just gonna stick with my stainless steel look. It won't go out of style, and it will be around for 100 years, or it should be around for 100 years. Who knows? But these canners, they do last. They last a lifetime, and you are able to pass those canners down. Yes, yes. Who else in here are you canning with the electric canner? Anyone else have the electric canner? I know Yolanda has that one. Yolanda, have you branched out to the other canners? I know it's easier and less intimidating with the electric canner, but or have you branched out? I think the electric canners are also a bit smaller and they only hold a certain amount. Is that true? Is that true? Do the russets fall apart when they're canned? They did, Happy Mag, and I don't know if it was just me, but the russets just didn't do well for me, and it just gave me a bad taste for canning potatoes because I just don't like the way they turned out. I didn't like them even mad. They were mashed, but they didn't taste like anything, honestly. They didn't taste like anything. And so I won't be canning those again. I may try a different potato. Your potatoes did fine with your beans. What type of potatoes did you use, Cheryl? And you used a few with beans. You'll be making more jams. Military family here and both sides of your family. Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to all. Well, thank you, Bart Brownlee. Thank you. And I hope we want to thank your family for service and for serving. Absolutely. You have the presto, but you're scared of it, which is why you brought the electric one. Well, Yolanda, send me an email. We can get on a Zoom or we can get on something, FaceTime, and we can work through that if you'd like to use that Presto, because that's what I have. That's what I've used for years is the Presto. So we can work together on that Presto if you'd like. And I'm serious. We can work together on that. Just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to work with you. Cheryl, it was the Russes. Okay, okay. Hello, the inquisitive farm wife. How are you? Good to see you. I know you have the All American canner. You have those canners. What do you think about the different colored ones? The inquisitive farm wife. What do you think about those? You used the Russets with your canned beans last year, and oh good. So that's the key, I guess, because when I canned them in the quart size jars, I just was not pleased with them at all. So, but I do like them with green beans, and that's how my mom used to can them. Actually, she canned the potatoes and the green beans together. She canned the potatoes and the green beans together. You're welcome, Yolanda. You're welcome. So I'm serious. When you want to do that, just shoot me an email and we can work together on that. Not a problem at all. You have the Presto also. Yes, I like the Presto. That's what I use the most. Like I said, my All American, I haven't used that one. And, I'm going to use it, and I'll have a video on that. I just need more time because I read my manuals even when I'm canning to make sure that I'm not missing a step. And that one has more to read and more to do than all Americans do. I feel like I have a spaceship there, but I know I'll get it, and it'll be just as easy as everything else. Make sure too with your canners that you have extra gaskets. For those of you that have the Prestos, make sure that you have purchased extra gaskets for it. Because one thing I noticed when my gasket, thank you, Tommy Bites. I appreciate you coming. Have a good night. Have a good night. We're not going to be on here much longer. But the one thing that I noticed is that when my gasket was going bad, that my pressure did not keep. So make sure you have extra gaskets for your Presto canners. You like the colors? You all see, I'm going to stay with the classic also. I'm going to stay with the classic. Nikki Walker, how are you? Your potatoes do fine. You use the red potatoes. You just cut them in big chunks, blanch and cook them first, then you can them. So you're blanching them. Very good. That's very good. You'll be checking out the dehydrated rice. Thank you, Tommy Bites. Go ahead and check it out. I think you'll like that. I really do. It's really easy, and I think you'll like that. I'm gonna try, I may try some red potatoes also, Nikki, and I may try some in green beans. That might be my best thing, is to try some with some green beans. You use your Presto way more than your All American, to be truthful. The inquisitive farm wife, I use my Presto, and it's just I think it's because it is so easy and so simple. My All American, I really need to get it out and use it. But I know that it's more to it, you know. It's more to it, but I'm gonna get that thing out and get it going because I must do that. Your mom can the potatoes and green beans together too. Yes. And I'll say this, and I know it's not approved now, but my mom canned those in the half-gallon jars. You know, when you have family of 10, you don't can in these little jars, but she canned those potatoes and green beans in those half-gallon jars back then. And I know that's not approved way now, but she did. The electric canner only has two buttons. So the electric canner, you just have two buttons and you push and you go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have that one. That does seem to be pretty easy. That does seem to be pretty easy. Those all Americans are built. It's a beast, Happy Mac. It really is. I had to get it. Yeah, I tell you, that's the one thing about me. I have a weakness. I have gadgets. I have gadgets. I have things like that. That's a weakness. I'm trying to do better. But that All American, it is a beast. I kept saying I wasn't going to get it. I wasn't going to get it. And I had to break down and purchase it. I really did. You want to get a canner by the end of the summer. So diversity love just depends on what you want. If you want a Presto and the one that doesn't have the dial, my Wally World have those regularly for $78, and they're still 78. They've been 78 for a very long time. So mine still has it for that. If you want the dial, you can get those around 149, I believe, at different places. And so it's just going to depend on where you live. All Americans, yeah, you're going to pay uh, way more. I'm not sure what they're going for now, but they are built to last. But I'm going to say that my Presto has lasted over 10 years as well. 15 years my Presto has. And yes, I have had to change out my gasket often. Yeah, the Presto is great. I have had to change out my gasket, but those don't cost a lot. You just have to make sure that you have them. You already had to replace yours. Yes. Yes. So Cassandra, you don't blanch your potatoes. Cheryl, I did not blanch my potatoes, and I'm wondering if that's what my problem was. I think I should have blanched them, and I didn't. So I'm gonna try blanching them, and I'll see if that makes a difference for me. I'm gonna see if that makes a difference. Mhm. Inquisitive farmer. It's just learning. It's a learning curve that you need to get past. It that All American is a learning curve. You like your electric canner now, but there is no controversy. Yep, there is some controversy. Yes, there is some controversy using those. There's some controversy. I've kind of I wanted to get one because I love the gadgets, but right now I'm just gonna stick with what I have. Uh, and I'm not gonna I'm just gonna stick with what I have. Yep. Thank you, the inquisitive farm wife. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everybody. TLM. Hello. We probably have too many gadgets. I know I do. I know I do. I have a little problem with that. And so I do have too many gadgets. I say I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. And then, yep, I end up getting it. So TLM, I definitely have one. How are you doing? Welcome into you. Welcome into you. Happy Mac. That's really a good deal on the Presto. Yes, the Prestos at my store are $78, and honestly, they've been that for many years. You just have to make sure, as we've said before, that you have your gaskets ready for them. Your Presto is only a year old, so you're good. Yes, make sure you get those ordered because it will start to lose pressure, and you just want to make sure you have it. You can get them two at a time. I usually get them two at a time and just make sure I have it. Honestly, I have two Presto canners and I have the All American canner. So I I want to make sure that I'm able to get my cannon in, and I do. Hey, Yankee sister, Homestead, how are you? Oh, you're fine. You're putting out your tomatoes. Yes, yes, and thank you for your service as well. We appreciate you. We appreciate you getting those tomatoes put out. We were talking about tomatoes earlier, and they were saying that you can put Epsom salt on it, and it'll help them to be sweeter. So that's something that's good. But we're also talking about being prepared for canning season, go season, when you are harvesting, being prepared to can those things. And we're talking about all the month of June is National Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month. So you should be able to find quite a bit of deals out there on these things this month, and be prepared to can. Make sure that your canner, if you haven't had your canner out, go ahead and get it out. Make sure that your gaskets, if you have the kind with the gaskets, that they are in good condition. Make sure that you order, like I say, order you some extra gaskets. They come with the other little thing uh, for it. I forgot what that's called off the top of my head, but make sure that you have that. If you're going to be dehydrating and you have a dehydrator, make sure that it is in good working condition. Just check everything that you have and have you some alternatives, for dehydrating. Find ways that you can hang or lay flat and rotate. There are many ways that you can dehydrate. Make sure that if you're freezing, that you have the right freezer bags, that you have enough freezer bags if you want to do a lot of freezing, and that you know what needs to be blanched when you freeze it and what doesn't need to be blanched when you freeze it. One of the things I will tell you, I dehydrated several batches of onion tops, green onions, and the ones that I just let dry naturally, just versus dehydrating in my oven, those were a lot greener. So the ones that dehydrated naturally, they were a lot greener. And the taste was about the same, though. The taste was about the same. Inquisitive Farmer, the Pampered Chef, had one of those. Happy Mac, you confess you bought a bean. Let me go back and see what you bought. Happy Mac, you bought a bean Frencher at a garage sale. You've never used it. It only cuts one. It only cuts one bean. Oh yes, yes. Uh, we like these gadgets. I have a meat mixer. I don't. I have a meat mixer. Uh, but actually, my sister bought that. Then she gave that. She bought that for me. Actually, it was like at $100 meat mixer, and she got it at this discount store for less than $5. And so she immediately thought of me. Didn't you, sister? I know you're in here. So she immediately thought of me because I am a gadget person. So the Pampered Chef has one of those things as well. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I appreciate you coming. Listen, guys, I have been on here for an hour. We've been in here for an hour. I don't want to keep you guys much longer. Yes, those meat grinders. I have it, but I don't even have meat to grind. But I have the mixer. I don't have the grinder. I have the mixer. I wanted to buy the grinder, but I have held off on that one. Yes. So, guys, I do want to thank you so much for coming in and spending your Memorial Day with me. Again, I want to uh, remember and honor those that have served and are serving. We appreciate your service. Thank you all so much. Uh, I really appreciate everyone for coming tonight and coming back. I'll be back here next week, God willing. Everyone have a very blessed week. I appreciate it. You're going to look at that meat mix. You might need one. Happy Mac, I have so many things. I'm telling you, I'm out of control when it comes to gadgets. Deuces, Mike's Chaotic Gardener. So good to see you. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you coming. Thank you so much, Tiff Farms, and George, you as well. Thank you, Cheryl Faulkner. I appreciate you. Yankee Sister Homestead. Thank you so much. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. Good night. Blessed family. Appreciate you coming. Thanks to all of my moderators. Hey, Kiki, I didn't see you. Oh, thank you. How are you doing? I'm just now seeing you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Kiki Soto's Gardening and Life. Yes. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. We are getting up out of here. Everyone, have a blessed week. Love you guys. Take care. Thanks again for coming. And we'll see you later on. Okay. Take care.